I like pretending that I'm smart, and one way to do that is to play a logic or deduction style game. Well, Stronghold Games released a game called Code 777, which looked like it would fulfill that in a multiplayer setting. Code 777 supports 2 to 5 players and is recommended for ages 10 and up. Now, I originally was kind of wary of this game because realistically, all it is a bunch of tiles with numbers on them, and I just wasn't really sure if it was worth my time or effort. But recently I decided to bite the bullet and just see what the buzz was about. So let's go to the table and I'll show you what it's about. As usual, if a game has a good box setup, I'm going to show it off. So for Code 777, when I open up the box, after I remove the instructions and the score pad, you'll see that there's a nice holder for the cards, the tiles, and there's separate slots for all the racks. And the neat thing about the rack holders is they actually kind of snap in place because there's these little plastic nubs here. So it's one thing that helps them stay still during movement. What you're trying to do in this game is you're trying to figure out what 3 tiles are in front of you. And all you have to do is figure out what the numbers are, and it doesn't even matter what order they are in. So, for example, if my opponent were to guess what's on his rack, and he were to say 642, he'd get it right. Now, the numbers do actually have corresponding shapes with them, but those aren't important for the answer. Those are used in helping you solve what's actually in front of you. The most important tool in this game is this score sheet. What this does is it shows you every single tile that's possible to be in the game. And what you can do with this is you can scratch off things that you've eliminated as things that you don't have. What you can do at the start of the game is you can actually look around at your opponent's tiles and you know those aren't in front of you, so you can actually start scratching them all off. The way that you get further information throughout the game is through these question cards. Each player in turn draws a question card, reads it aloud, and answers it themselves. So for this card, it says, do you see more black or more red numbers? And so I just simply look to see what I can see. So I see 1 black number and I see 1 red number. So I will just simply say, I see the same. Now this answer is of no use to me, but it gives my opponents some information for them to possibly cross off some tiles. Once everyone has done what they will with that information, the next player draws a card and questions continue. Players then keep pulling question cards in player order until someone makes a guess on what their tiles are. When this happens, let's say this player wanted to take a guess on their numbers. If they guess their correct numbers, then they'd score a point, they'd remove their tiles, and then pull 3 more. Guessing incorrectly can actually pose a big problem for a player, because if you guess wrong, you simply lose all your tiles, you draw 3 new ones, and you have no idea what you just lost. But the thing is, every other player around the table can see what your new tiles are, and they know, hey, I don't have those, I can cross them off. Play continues this way until one player has successfully guessed their numbers 3 times. Now, one wrinkle to this is, let's say that this player guesses their tiles, and they said 676, they got it correctly. So they discard their tiles and try to refill. However, there's not enough. So what happens is all the tiles that were discarded previously end up back in the game. And what this does is it actually monkeys around with everyone's charts. Like, here's an example of like one of my charts during the game. And I now know that a lot of this information is irrelevant, so I'm going to have to start over again and make some new notations. Slow and methodical. That's how I would describe this game. And I actually say that as a positive trait. I actually thought of one litmus test to see if you'd actually like this game. And it's actually this. If you've ever played and enjoyed these logic puzzles where you're taking clues and eliminating possibilities and crossing them off and trying to eventually come up with the final solution to the puzzle, you're probably going to really, really like this game. Code 777 is essentially a multiplayer version of these. And, well, I own a big frickin' book of these logic puzzles, so obviously I'm a sucker for this sort of thing, and I love it. And my girlfriend, she loves it even more. With that said, though, there's two main issues with the game which can sort of kill it for certain groups. First one is, this game requires your full attention. This is not one of those games where like someone can, make a play, take off for 5 minutes and then come back. No, you've got to be there the whole time. You've got to take in all the clues. You've got to always be thinking about what's going on and just deducing what's in front of you. Now, the second issue, and this is kind of a biggie, is these question cards. So when it's my turn, and I read a question which I need to answer. So for this one it says, on how many racks do you see 3 consecutive numbers? I have to answer that correctly. If I make a mistake and I give an incorrect answer for the rest of the people on the table, it could throw that game completely out the window. So it requires, again, that the people playing be completely engaged with what's going on. But with the right group, this is a really stunningly good game. Just choose your audience well and you're sure to have a good time. I enjoy it a lot and I can't wait till the next time that I get to play it. Thanks.